only thing you got, when you're the only thing you got, when you're the only thing you got, what is just you, and you? Well, I guess it's Facebook won't let me. Hey, Rose, I guess this Facebook won't let me be great. I'm just gonna talk to everybody and just do what I can since they won't let nobody comment. But anyway, let's just talk. Let's kick it. Now, long story short, most of the people that I train, over 90% are single moms. Okay, are single moms. And they wear a lot of hats. A lot of people are mom and dad, and they're the provider. They do everything. They're the driver for the kids. They do everything. And all the while, they still have aspirations of doing great things, even though they're doing it on their own. Hence, when you're all you got. Now, keep in mind, I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. So I sit back sometimes, and I'm the type of person where I'll sit back and I'll see what people are doing, and I'm like, maybe you need to change this up. Maybe you need to do this a little bit different versus doing it in a way that's not producing the outcome you want, okay? So one of the things, when I sit back and I look at people, one of the things I always say is, one of the things you have to do if you're trying to be successful, no matter what it is in life. First of all, the first thing you got to learn how to do is play the hand you dealt. Play that hand. Play it. See, a lot of times, how we play life is, we're playing cards. I get the cards, and I look at it, and I don't like the hand that I've been dealt. I don't like the hand that I've been dealt. So I just look at it, really don't do anything with it, disgusted with it, really don't want to be bothered with it, and, just kind of fold up even before I get started. You can't do that. You got to play your hand, and you basically got to be like, you know what? Okay, this is not my ideal situation. No, this ain't what I expected this to be. No. Okay, I thought we were going to be together for a minute, and I thought we were going to live happily ever after. Okay, that didn't work out. So now what do? You got to play that hand. You got to play that hand. And you got to be so skillful with playing that hand that no matter what kind of hand you've been dealt, you got to win. See, that's the beautiful thing about life. You decide if you win or if you lose based upon what you do with the hand you're dealt. Feel me on that. But you can win. And when you decide that, yes, I can win, and yes, I'm supposed to win, guess what happens to you? When you hang in there long enough, guess what happens to you? You win. Now, the other thing you have to do is when you're trying, and also too, let me say this too, entrepreneurs, people who are starting their own businesses, they kind of fall up under the same umbrella too. Because when you're trying to build something and you're trying to do stuff, let me give you something good. There's more lonely days and there's more lonely times than, let's pop some bottles and enjoy. There's a whole bunch of frustration in between of all of that. There's a whole bunch of heartaches. There's a whole bunch of starting overs. There's a whole bunch of trying to figure stuff out. I always say that single moms and entrepreneurs got a lot in common because, again, when you're trying to do something amazing, and this goes back to my second point, one of the things you have to do, you got to find a role model. You got to find a mentor. You got to find somebody, and this is the trick. You remember in elementary school, in high school, they told you it was wrong to cheat. Don't look over somebody else's shoulder and cheat. See, that's the worst thing that they told you. Because you're supposed to cheat in life. You're supposed to find the person who has the right answer and basically copy off of their paper. You're supposed to model success. You're supposed to find a role model, a mentor. You're supposed to find a person who has figured it out, because at some point you got to say, you know what, even though I'm traveling this road by myself and I'm doing all of this by myself, there's somebody out there who has accomplished. There's somebody who has dominated, but it's on you to find that person who has gone through the stuff that you're going through and has done it successfully. You got to go find that person. Again, you're not the first person to do this. If you are a single parent, if you're a person starting a business, if you are, a person trying to just do better in general, you got to find somebody who's done it. Trust me, it's kind of like when you find a mentor and when you find a role model, it's kind of like, if I could, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like, instead of reading the whole book, you get the cliff notes. So you get the gist of it, and you don't have to go through all of the stuff they went through because they've already gone through it. And then it's like, okay, cool, I've saved some time because I found a person who says, nah, don't do that because this is going to set you back. Or I don't know. You might want to think about that because I've tried this before and it didn't work out. How about you try it this way? See, when you find a person like that, it makes your road so much cleaner and clearer. You just got, I was that person who had to try everything first and then mess up. But when I found a mentor, when I found a role model, when I found a person who was living the life I wanted to live, then everything got easier. Now, the other thing you got to do when you're all you got and it's just you, the third thing you have to do, you have to be committed to the vision of your better self. Because again, everybody you see who's doing well, it took them a long time. Matter of fact, I deal with a whole bunch of stars. A lot of those people didn't blow up until year 15, until year 20. Anywhere between 10 years to 20 years, they didn't blow up until 10, in between 10 and 20. So you just got to be dedicated enough to say, you know what? I am my biggest fan. And it starts with you becoming your biggest fan. At some point, you got to say, I'm going to be my biggest fan. I'm going to hang in there. And then the other piece of it is you have to say, I don't need everybody to pat me on the shoulder, pat me on my butt, and high five me and tell me I'm doing great. A lot of that is going to have to come from you. You're going to have to become, when you're doing this stuff by yourself and you trying to achieve great things and you trying to start a new life and you trying to make your life bigger, a lot of things have to come from you. You're going to have to learn how to become your favorite cheerleader. You're going to learn how to, say things that you wish other people would say to you. You're going to have to be that person who's going to provide that motivation. You're just going to have to be that person. And a lot of people never achieve anything great because they don't have a cheering section. And that's the bad thing about life. When you're growing up and you're doing sports, when you're growing up and you're going through school, you always have people, your mom, your dad, your cousins. You always have people who support you, earlier on. But what happens when you're 25 and you have an idea? What happens when you're 30 and you have aspirations? What happens when you're 40 and you want to try something different? There's no more hand claps. There's no more data boys. There's no more data girls. There's no more, because a lot of people have quit on life. So they want you to quit too. They want you to stop dreaming too because they stopped dreaming. Everybody was dreaming up until end of high school. Everybody was dreaming up until after graduation of college. Everybody was dreaming up until they got that first job. Then everything stopped. So, but you want to lose weight. You want to look better. You want to drive a different car. You want a bigger house. How dare you? And that's what you're going to get from a lot of people. You're going to get a lot of pushback. You're going to get a lot of objection. And you're going to get a whole bunch of venom just shot on your dreams. The stuff that you're excited about, again, you're 30, 40, about to be 50, but you want to do something different? How dare you? Why would you do that? See, when you can learn how to let that stuff go over your head, and when you can start dismissing things and dismissing people who don't see your vision, the better off you'll be. And it also goes back to understanding, no, not everybody's going to get your vision. And being perfectly and totally cool with that. Because it's the people that's closest to you that ain't going to get it. Ain't going to get excited about you doing new stuff. You know, again, the closest people to you are the people who might not see it, who might not get excited. Again, you're excited. But, you know, if you're depending upon other people to provide that excitement for you, don't worry about it. Because again, you're looking at doing something incredible. And people just don't do incredible anymore. But you got to be cool with that. Because you're on the journey all by yourself. But are you? No. It goes to my next point. Find yourself a tribe. A committed tribe. I say this all the time. You don't need 1 million people. Just get you about 3, 4. Get you about 3, 4 ride or dies and you good. Get you 2, 3, 4 ride or dies and you good. You don't need a whole city. You don't need a whole country. You don't need the Barclays Center to be full for people to appreciate what you do. You just need a tribe of 2, 3, 4 committed people, and guess what? You're good. You just need 2, 3 believers, and you're good. It even says that in the Bible. I'm just saying. It didn't say where there's 4,000, 5, when 3 to 4 million come together. No. You just need your 2 or 3. You just need a few. So you got to find your few. Who are your few? Because again, we chase after people who don't see our vision. We always running after people who don't get us. And those are the people that we chase after the hardest. Versus the people who are sitting beside us, who have been ride or die beside us the entire time. We always chase after the people who don't want us, who don't want to be a part. Versus the people the 2 or 3 that are begging to be a part of your team. Asking you, what can I do for you? But because they ain't attractive. Just because they ain't attractive, or just because they don't, have a doctorate, or just because they don't have any fancy letters after their names, you don't pay them no mind. You go chasing after the pretty shiny stuff. But it's the dull stuff. It's the hard working, everyday show up people. That's going to help you get through and get to your final destination. It's the unattractive people. It's the people who don't always tell you what you want to hear. They show up every day, they do, versus being all shiny and coming around every once in a while. I'm telling you what I know. So, for those people who feel like you're doing it by yourself, you're not. But if you are to this point, you got some work to do. You gotta, you gotta play the hand you dealt. 2, you gotta find a mentor. You gotta find a role model who has already accomplished, who has already done what you're trying to do. Be committed to the bigger vision of yourself. Start yourself a tribe. And that was one of the things that I always remembered with Candy. No matter how big Candy Burris got or what she was doing, even if it was with Escape or even with the Housewives of Atlanta, she always had 2 people. Don Juan and her best friend from childhood, Carmen. Two people who have been ride or die for over 20 some odd years, who help her further her vision, help her further her dreams. It doesn't take a million people, y'all. You just need 2 or 3 people to be ride or die with you. And no matter what your situation is, just know that if you have it in your heart, you can put that vision in front of your face. Matter of fact, that's your responsibility. Anytime you have a vision, anytime you have something in your heart, it's on you to take what's on the inside of you and be able to manifest it and see it in front of you. That's what life is about. So when you're all you got, do those 3, 4, 5 things and watch how your life turns around. Get you some good people. Again, you don't need a stadium full of people. But again, it goes back to you believing in you and you creating a culture of people who will support you versus you chasing after people who don't want you. Stop all that chasing. One of the things you will always hear me say is this: if people don't appreciate what you bring to the table, stop bringing it to the table. Stop chasing. Start attracting. Let me say it one more time. Stop chasing and start attracting. Again, it's stop trying to make Stevie Wonder sing. Because that's what y'all do. Y'all chase after some of the most blindest people on the planet, trying to make them see how great you are and how big you gonna be and how beautiful you are and how awesome and spectacular you are. And why would you want to be with her when you could be with me? If you have to convince somebody and convince people of your greatness and they don't see it, you need to wave them away. Those are the people you need to wave away. Stop chasing. Start attracting. And that right there is when you start building something huge. And life is about building. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do. So let's go get it. Look, you got greatness in you. You got a lot of great stuff coming up, but you have to prepare yourselves. You got to get ready for your opportunity. You got to build a culture. You got to build, you got to get everything right. Because a lot of times I see a lot of people wanting stuff, but they're not prepared for it. You want a husband, but your situation ugly. You want a new car, but you don't treat the old car right. You don't make payments on the old car on time, but you want something. You got to prepare yourself. You got to get ready for stuff. Because the worst thing you can do is get ready for an opportunity and not be prepared for it. So this is the time where you have to be prepared for your stuff. Start living like you already have it so you can be in practice. So, when you play, everything is easy because you've practiced. Your life is an everyday practice. You got to practice because at some point you're going to have to play the ball game because you're not living a practice life. Every day ain't practice. Again, when I played ball at Clemson, we practiced Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Didn't do anything really on Friday, but those lights came on Saturday night. That stadium was rocking Saturday afternoon. But you can't play unless you practice well. That was one of the things. If you didn't practice well, you ain't playing. So start preparing now. Because I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot of stuff that's going to come your way very, very quickly. That if your dynamics aren't right, you ain't going to be able to keep it. I always say it's a whole lot easier to get something than it is to maintain it. I'm just saying, it's easy to get stuff, but do you have the systems to maintain the stuff that you want? So that's what's up. So let's practice. Let's practice. Let's practice. And then when those lights come on, you ready to perform. So let's go get it. So thank you for joining me. Shoot, the topic of the night is when you're all you have, when you're all you got. If you do those 3, 4, 5 things, I promise you, you will see a shift in your life. That's what's up. Look, those are the things that have worked for me. I'm telling you, and have saved my sanity and have helped me doing the hardest parts of my life. You know, I'm telling you, whenever you can pick up a phone and you can call people and you can talk to people about stuff that you're currently going through and they've already killed it, it makes your life so much easier. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Again, find your role model, find your mentor, create a culture, create a tribe that's gonna be ride or die for you. Again, you don't need 1 million people. You just need 2 or 3. You just need 2 or 3. Look, again, the Bible says, I'm just saying, all you need is a couple. Look, and if it's good enough for the Bible, it's good enough for me too. You just need a couple. So that's what's up. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me this evening. But I just had to drop that on your spirit and all that other good stuff. But I love y'all. Have a great evening and thank y'all for hanging so much. Thank you so much.